Bonjour, welcome to Simon's Carp Fishing. This week, join me for 48 hours on my syndicate, and it's now Saturday afternoon, or late Saturday afternoon. I got here yesterday, got here very late, so quite a few people on. There's only a couple of swims left, and it's very busy, so not ideal, but we're here. Got my brother, his missus over, kids, we're all having a lovely time. Now, made a few new purchases in the week, time to update a few things, new alarms, new reels, and I'm sure I'll give you a little look at them afterwards. Now, I will do a little bit of a review on them, but what I want to do is this time round I'm going to give them a little bit of a workout, see what they're like, and then I'll come back to you with a review in a few months' time. Today, last night, very quiet. Nothing's happened. There's not been a single fish out all weekend since I've been here, and unfortunately it's hard to catch fish. So what I'm going to do is we're going to get the rods back out in a little while for the evening. We're going to bring the rods in, I'll give you a little show of the rigs. Standard blowback rigs, to be honest, but we'll give you a little show, give you a little look at the baits. Apart from that, I'll catch you in a little while. So I'll just give you a little run through of the rigs and the setup that I'm using this weekend. Generally my sort of go-to default setup in these conditions. The lake isn't weedy where I'm fishing. There are a few patches of weed, but I'm not fishing within them. It's nice clear bottoms, a little bit of silkweed in the middle, and I'm fishing nice hard spots over on the far back bank, hence the setup that I'm using. So I'm going to drop off the camera and I'll just show you the setups that I'm using. So I've got about a good 2 foot of tungsten tubing. I personally like tungsten tubing. This is the ESP one. Again, none of these videos are sponsored by anyone whatsoever. This is all just personal preference that I choose to use and pay for myself. So it's an ESP tubing. I find it a lot more supple than the cooler ones, and obviously there's plenty of other people out there that make it, but I like the suppleness of the ESP, albeit a little harder to thread. It's then just a couple of quarter lead clips, tail rubber, 2.5 ounce pair, and then you've got like a 6-inch rig. Now it's not a blowback, it's almost just a basic air rig, but what I've done is I've put a long piece of tubing on it so it kind of seals the hair to the back of the hook, and then on that we're just fishing a 20mm bottom bait with a 10mm white pop-up on the top. These are both fish meal based, and the pop-up soaked in a glug. Moving on to the second rig, is pretty much exactly the same. Tubing, lead clip, 2.5 ounce lead. This is on a slightly darker, stiffer material with a bit stripped back on the ever faithful blowback rig with a rig ring, and then this has just got a wafter on there which has been soaked in a fish meal liquid, and yeah, 10mm gap between the hook and the bait, so I like to leave a bit of play in there. Rod 3 is basically exactly the same as the first one, so again supple braid, size 6 hook, long shrink tubing to pin the hair down, but this time we've got a 20mm bottom bait trimmed down, say probably just under 1/3 trimmed off, and then half a 12mm white pop-up to top it off and just to make it act a bit more natural. So we're going to swing them in and hopefully they'll do us a bite. Good morning people. Yeah, Sunday morning. Waited a couple of days for this one, but we finally got one. Don't think there's been any other fish out at all this weekend since I've been here, so he's 12 pound, and I'm more than happy with him. Absolutely beautiful common. As I say, he's no massive fish, but well earned. He gave me an absolute nightmare this morning, and I'll give you an update on that afterwards because I don't want to keep him out too long. But like I say, beautiful fish. We finally got one in the back of the net, and I'll catch up with you in a little while. Alright people, I thought I'd best update you on the whereabouts of that fish last night. So it's about 3:30 this morning. Rod absolutely roars off. Chrising me new reels and my new alarms, so that gets that out of the way. Always concerning when you got new gear, you know, curse of the new tackle, no one wants it. So we managed to lift that pretty quick, which is always good. Problem is, come in, there's a big bed of weed down in the edge here, and I always like to back that up. A little bit old school, a lot of people don't do it these days, but I like a back lead. So I'm sending them out quite far. The fish has come in, I'm half asleep, and it's managed to take out both my rods, causing absolute carnage. Took me like 2 hours to get sorted out and get everything back out on the spots again. Yeah, it's a nightmare, absolute nightmare. But the fish, definitely worth it, absolutely immaculate, and by the sounds of things, it's the only one that's been out all weekend. So I'm going to take that as a credit. You know, someone's got to. So trying to put a little bit more information into these vlogs. I've noticed I've been a little bit slack on sort of like rolling through the info, just trying to get to grips with it a little bit myself. Obviously I'm new to it and I'm still learning. As I've said before, if any of you have got anything you want to know, or anything, any sort of input you've got, let me know and I'll do my best to put it up. I've got a couple of little things in the pipeline to try and add to it to make it a bit more interesting. So I have to hold tight and see what's happening with that. Hopefully it'll be in the next few weeks and I'll be able to tell you a bit more. For the moment, I'm going to introduce a little thing called tip of the trip. Now these are going to be just little silly tips, but you know, to some people they might be big things, to some people they might be, you know, silly little things, and they'll think, oh, you know, I know that, everyone knows that. But there's people out there that don't, and I'm trying to reach everyone. Like, you know, the vlogs are a little bit for every bit of angler. You know, I wouldn't say I'm the best angler in the world, I wouldn't say I'm the worst. There's people out there that are starting off, and there's people that have been doing it years, and you know, we all need a little bit of help. Even I do, you know, we all do. No one's perfect and no one knows everything. So just as a little bit of tongue-in-cheek, tip of the trip, we're going to make it a thing now, and that's going to be it. So every week, well, every time I put a vlog up, you're going to get a tip. That may be something that I've come up against on the session that weekend, maybe something that someone's mentioned to me and they want to mention. You know, I'm all ears. If you want to sort of message me, you can do it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You know, all the links are in the bios and the descriptions, so hit me up if you've got anything you want to add. Let's get to tip of the trip. This tip of the trip. So, first tip, we're going to roll it out. Very important one, fish safety. So last night I had the fish. It took both my lines out. I've now got a fish in the net, and I've got 2 lines out, and both of them lines are wrapped around my one line. Now, what I've done is, while the fish is still in the water, I cut the line to my main line that the fish is on. This is paramount that you do this, because by doing that, you then release the other 2 lines for the fish going out. If you try to take the fish out of the water before you cut the line, you're then leaving the leads and the hooks in the water around line. What you want to do is minimise the risk to the fish that's in the net and any fish that may pick up your hooks while you're out there. So just remember, if you ever get tangled up or anything ever happens, just get rid of that main line, cut it. Yes, it's annoying, you have to reset it back up, but always remember, fish safety comes before anything else. We work hard to catch these fish, but we must look after them at the same time. Cut the main line, leave the fish in the net, sort out your other lines, get them tightened back up, bring the rods in, whatever you need to do to make sure that you're fishing safely. Until the next time, that's your tip of the trip. Right people, that's it. It's the end of the weekend, we're going home. We're all packed up, all done. Just got to load the stuff in the van and we're on our way home. It's been hard weekends fishing and this is the way it goes sometimes. One fish out, several of us on. As far as I know there was no others out apart from the one I had this morning. But unfortunately it goes like that. This lake does switch off and it doesn't always give up his fish easy. I mean, you know, we're all here, we're all trying, we all come for the same thing. But unfortunately, it doesn't always pay off. But being here, being part of it, that's what it's all about. Enjoying the time on the bank, enjoying the surroundings, and making the most of what you have. At the end of the day, there's always next time, and next time it will be. So for me, it's going to be the end. I'm out of here and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget, if you want to hear the next tip of the trick, then subscribe, hit the bell notification, join in on the next one and have a little look. Cheers and I'll see you later.